Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at keyframes. And keyframes are essentially what log the animation points for anything that you do, really. So any effects that you add usually give you the ability to keyframe. So what does that actually mean? Well, I'll show you. So we're just going to do some text for now. So we'll go up to File, New, Legacy Title. Now I'm using an older version of Premiere. It will be exactly the same in yours in 22. I just haven't updated mine. But it will tell you that they're getting rid of legacy titles. They've been saying that for about a year and a half now. They still haven't got rid of them. But you know, if ever they do, we have text tools there, and basically it will go through essential graphics. But for now, we're just going to add a legacy title. You can name it if you want. I suggest you do so that you know which one's which. When you've got a lot of these, it becomes very difficult to know which one is which. So I'm just going to call it what I'm going to put. I'm just going to put hello. That'll then open up this window here. And it's fairly standard. You've got all these kind of word art style things down here. All your tools up here, like your selection tool, rotation, type, vertical type. Really, you might use a shape every now and then. I tend to only use this for type, so let's put a big thing in the middle. Let's type hello. Okay, at the top I've got all my text tools. I also have those down the side. These are a little bit more kind of graphic based, so kerning, for example, which just refers to the distance between the letters, which doesn't seem to want to do anything with this font, so you know, ignore that. At the top here though, we want to increase the size of our text. Probably want to make it central. I'll just leave it as that for now. This font doesn't really want to seem to play ball with a lot of this, so you can also change that font if you want to, but we'll keep it simple. So that'll do. It's quite a nice little font. Resize it. You can also then, if you click on the mouse button up here, you can move it around and what have you. You can also then adjust the size of the text box. So if, like mine, it was disappearing, there you go. You can kind of resize all of that. I'm just going to keep this simple. So that'll do for now. All you do is close that window. And I realise I'm working on a Mac, so your close button I think will be on the top right as opposed to the top left. But you see it pops up down here, basically creates a new clip. Drag that onto your video, and there you go. We'll adjust the length of it just so we've got some kind of room to play with it, but zoom in a bit as well. So there you go. So at the moment, this text here just kind of does this, which is boring. It just sits there. So we want to adjust that. We want to make it do things, dance around, stuff like that. So what we do is we click on it and we go up to the top here where it says Effect Controls. Now if you can't see this on version 22, there'll be a little box up here with a blue dot. Click on that, change it to Editing, and then your screen will more resemble mine. As you can see, basically all of that is on a menu bar at the top here on this version. Okay, so there's kind of one key thing that people tend to get wrong when it comes to keyframing, and that is that they just forget to turn it on. So you can see here we've got motion, opacity, and those are the only ones we're going to play with for now. They're probably more like that when you first open it. You need to drop them down. And you can see we have these stopwatches. Now these are, as it says, to toggle animation on and off. Okay. So this one is automatically toggled as on. You can see because it turns blue, it gets a little hand appear on the watch. All right. But what does that actually mean? Well, when it's turned on, it will let us add keyframes. And as I said before, the keyframes just track what changes are being made from point to point. So, for example, if I turn this on, you'll see it's added a little diamond. All right. Now, if I move along here, and I change its position, so I move it off to the side, you'll see it's added another diamond. If I move along a bit and then I move it back over here, it's added another diamond. And what that has done, if I just kind of scroll over them, is it's just logged the position and basically telling it where to go in between. Now, I can do anything from here. I can adjust the space between them if it goes too fast or too slow. I can add in even more keyframes. I can zoom in on this if I want to, just like you can down here, so that I can, you know, add a little bit more detail in there. Maybe here I want it to also go down, and then by here I want it to come back up again. So there you go, now it kind of waves around the screen. And you can do that for all of these. If you add one by accident, just click on it, press delete, and away it goes. Boop, boop. You'll see here that your first one and your last one now be half black, half white. Okay, so that's how you know which one's at the start, which one's at the end. To completely get rid of all of it, you can just toggle the animation off. It will say, do you want to continue? Yep, deletes all of them. So let's play around with the scale then. Let's get this more central again. Alright, so scale, remember, I've got to turn it on. Boop. And maybe over the span of, I don't know, this long, I want it to grow. There we go. Now if I press play, it grows. It's a bit quick, so I can drag that out. Nice. Rotation is one that's slightly different. So what you will see, if you click on where it says anchor point, you'll see there's this little circle in the middle. This basically is where it bases all of its animation from. So depending on where I put this, depends on where these will basically position themselves. So if I adjust the rotation, you can see it's spinning on that circle. Okay. If I move this off to the end of the O, and now I adjust my rotation, you can see that now it spins on that point. Okay, so wherever that is where it spins. So obviously it's good to have it smack bang in the middle. Alright, so roughly in the middle. Rotation is slightly different as it goes by degrees. So obviously if I put 180, it'll turn upside down. If I put 90 degrees, it'll go on its side. Okay. Remember when I said to you that you're going to need all these things from maths? Here you go. Here's me using them. So what you can do is you can tell it how many times you want it to rotate. 0.0 is its starting position. So if I type in 5 times, so 5x, it's not going to do anything because as far as it's concerned, it's spun 5 times to 0. Also, what have I forgotten to do? Turn on the animation. So let's reset that. Okay, turn on the animation. Let's move along a bit instead. Now let's go 5 times. There. And you'll see between that, it will now spin 5 times. Which is good fun. You can make it quicker, make it slower. And you can combine all of these. So maybe I want it to grow while it's spinning. Right, so now it'll do that. So that's growing as it spins. Maybe I want it to start off screen while it does that. Toggle my position on. And by the time it gets to here, I want it to be on the other side of the screen. So now, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to delete all of that because I don't want those anymore. Boop, boop, boop. And I'm going to move my text back in, if I can. Lost it, there we go. Alright, I can do this for the opacity as well. Opacity is automatically turned on. Now, obviously here it's turned on already, it hasn't added a keyframe and I want it to fade out. So we have this button here that allows us to add a keyframe. So if I click that, you'll see it adds a point, and it just logs it at whatever you've got it set to. So then when I get to here, I want it to have faded out, so I'm going to do that to 0. And there you go. So there's a hell of a lot more that you can do with it. If you drop these down, you get a graph that allows you to kind of adjust them more. In their basic state, it won't let you do much. If you highlight them and change these to Bezier, Auto Bezier kind of does it for you. You can see that now I can adjust effectively the speed, the velocity of that change using this graph. It just gives you a bit more of a fine tune, okay? Ease in and ease out will also help with that, just to make it less snappy and punchy. But that is keyframing in a nutshell. The most important thing is to go and explore it, try it out, see what you can do. So your first task is going to be to try this out and export what you have achieved through your experimentation, and this will go on your experimentation page for Project 1.